So in this video, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite multi-tools of all time, and that is the Silca Ratcheting Multitool. I used it in the last video where I broke down the bike in about 7 minutes to fit into a case for airline travel. Tons of questions about it, so I thought I would do a deep dive on this tool. Welcome back, Pathless Peddlers, and if you're new to the channel, if you love bikes but aren't into the competitive cycling thing, so into gravel, adventure, bike touring, bike commuting, you have found your people, hit that subscribe button. So in the last couple of years, there has been an explosion of really interesting tools, everything from fix-it sticks to fix-it stick knockoffs. Interesting tools, not my favorite, but something like this tool, the Silca Ratcheting Multitool, actually provides lots of value and functionality. So I've used a couple of ratcheting tools in the past, including the toe peak tool, which I still love, but the Silca version really takes it up a notch. So one of the big advantages of using a ratcheting tool like this is that it lets you tighten or loosen bolts really quickly, especially in really tight places, because you're not constantly putting the Allen head in and then taking it out to rotate. Once you get it in there, you can ratchet it in or out. Another big advantage of a ratcheting tool is because you're not constantly putting the head of the Allen wrench in and out, it actually minimizes the chance of rounding out a bolt. I found if you get sloppy or you're using a tool that doesn't use a high quality steel and doesn't fit correctly, you can round out a bolt. But with this, once you stick it in there, it's in there. You can just ratchet the bolt out. What makes the Silca one so good? I mean, it works a lot like the toe peak one I've used in the past. Functionally, it's about the same, but when you use it, it just feels so nice to have so many engaging pull type things. There are also other nice touches insofar as each bit has a little red rubber band on it that tells you exactly the size of the bit, or whether it's a Torx or a Phillips head or what have you. Also on the handle of the wrench itself, it's got these rubber rings that provide a little more grip, and they do the added trick of this one coming apart, and you can turn this into a T-tool. Another nice feature is that all these holes you can stick another bit in. So let's say you're working on the front end of your bike and you need a 4 or 5 and a Torx wrench. You can put all those in here. You can put your active bit in the part where it ratchets, and you can treat these two other parts as kind of like the on-deck circle, swapping them in and out as you need to. I think the handle gives enough leverage to put a pedal on and off, provided that the Allen head on the pedal is no bigger than a 6. If you have a pedal that uses a 8mm Allen head, you will need to scavenge that little end cap piece that turns your 6 into an 8. So what are the downsides of the tool? Well, one downside is because of all the points of engagement, that this head is actually a fair amount bigger than the toe peak one. So on occasion, especially when you're working on saddle rail bolts, this may bump into the seat posts, but it does come included with a little extension piece, so it makes it easier to get in those hard to reach spaces. Another minor downside is, although this is kind of a cool feature that you can turn it into a T-tool, I sort of wish that it didn't do that. Over time, this will kind of loosen. It becomes kind of easy to accidentally pop it off on occasion. That said, minor gripe, but that is something to be aware of. Last thing is the price. This does come in 2 versions. One with a cool torque wrench adapter. That's about 90 bucks. Without the torque wrench adapter, it's about $50. There is a little bit of a premium because it is Silca, but you do, I think you do get what you pay for in terms of just the number of pawls and just its overall build quality. This is by far my favorite multi-tool. I use this a lot for home use, just because it does make disassembling and assembling bikes really, really fast. If you can't afford the Silca version, the toe peak one does essentially the same thing in terms of functionality. You do lose a couple of refinements, but if you're on a tight budget, I totally would get that one as well. So what do you guys think? Are you guys fans of ratcheting multi-tools? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like content like this, consider supporting the channel via the PayPal and Patreon links, or by buying a Supple t-shirt. And as always, keep the supple side down.